Third, the snake running up the coast in Santa Barbara, San Luis Obispo, take the votes that Elton Gallagher got in the rest of Santa Barbara County, what Kevin McCarthy got up in San Luis Obispo County, and look at the Democrats running, I would have won. And that's one of the reasons why this is in the top 10 districts in the country for takeover. You've probably seen ads running already from both the NRCC and Karl Rove's group. It's because they know she's vulnerable. She's not going to be easy to beat. She's an incumbent. She's going to have a lot of money. Abel's going to have a lot of money. He's going to report here and probably on Monday. We'll see. My guess is he's probably going to have close to $1 million. He's going to need every penny of that to make people forget about what he's done to us. And the good thing for us, we don't need to raise that much money. I've proven I can. Last time I raised 600 grand. I think it's going to take to, for sure, put Abel away and advance to the second round. It's going to be probably in the neighborhood of $500,000, $250 at an absolute minimum. That's a lot of money to raise. It's tough to raise that much money, particularly in this kind of an environment. People that are, you think are fairly wealthy have half as much money as they did a few years ago. So that's going to be important. That's an unfortunate fact of life. But the good news is we only need to tell the story about Abel one time. He's going to have to run nice, softy, squishy commercials ad infinitum to try and make people forget. So I've got really good name ID. Lois and Abel both have 90%. I have 60% in this district. There's some new polling that's been done. There's another candidate that just entered the race today. Some of you may remember Matt Kokinen from up in San Luis Obispo. He jumped in. And Chris, I love Chris, but he's got 7% name ID. You don't have the time or the money to make that up in this election. So I'm asking for your vote. I appreciate your support last time, and I think together we can win it this time. Thanks.
Well, just to touch on a few things. When I ran in '98, I raised $996,000 in 8 months, which was a state record for a state assembly seat. We lost by less than 4 percentage points. I want to thank the Tea Party, Frank, all of you, Steve, we're getting personal, calling you by the last name, for being here and putting this together. I want to thank my significant other, Doreen, for being here. She's out here from Boston. She said something to me the other day that got me thinking about Reagan's speech in '64. He told a story there about 2 Americans talking to a refugee from Cuba down in Florida. And the guy was talking about the atrocities that made him flee. And the 2 Americans said, boy, are we really lucky to be here. He said, you're lucky. I'm lucky. They said, why are you lucky? He said, because I had somewhere to go. And Doreen said to me, she said, if Obama wins in 2012, I want to leave America. And I said, where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? This is the last best hope for mankind on this planet. If we lose in 2012, we are in 1,000 years of darkness. So I of course, want your support personally. I think any of the Republicans can beat Lois Kapp. I think she's extremely vulnerable. But I would like to be the person who does that. I'd like you to volunteer for me. I'd like you to donate to my campaign. But more than that, I want you to get involved in this election. Whatever candidate or candidates you support, volunteer for them, help them, donate them, work hard, do everything that you can do. And we, the people of this country, if we work hard and do all that can be done, as Reagan said, we, the people, will make sure that a country of the people, by the people, and for the people does not perish from this earth. Thank you, and God bless America.
Unlike Democrat events, this was a civil, respectful discussion. There were some differences of opinions. You have the right to make a determination as to which side of the differences you're on, but that's what America is all about. Events like this held by Tea Parties in Santa Barbara and Tea Parties throughout the country, holding events like this so that people can hear the candidates directly, not with 30-second ads, not with slick pieces of mail coming, if the post office still exists next November, slick pieces of mail that you can't ask questions about, and they'll tell you anything you want anyway, in generalities, not specifics. But coming to events like this then making a determination which candidate you're going to support. But don't just say, Chris, I support you, or Tom, I support you. That's not enough. You need to work on their campaigns, walk precincts, do phone calls. Whomever you choose to support, it's not enough to tap them on the back and say, go get him, Tiger. That's not how we're going to take our country back. It's going to take all of us in this room and those who are home watching reruns of Seinfeld to make a difference come November. I hate Seinfeld. Worst show ever on TV. Even worse than Car 54, Where Are You? For those who remember that one. But that's how much I dislike Seinfeld. But the reality is the Santa Barbara Tea Party and the other Tea Parties in this district are going to be working hard to make sure that Nancy Pelosi's double does not represent you come January of 2013. And that's the important part, to get rid of Nancy's double. We're about at the point where we're going to do the pledge signing ceremony. And I think...
Yeah, actually, I'd like to talk about this a little bit because I don't sign these sorts of pledges, and I'll tell you why. The oath that I take is to the Constitution. It's the same oath I took when I was 17 years old. My positions have not changed at all, one iota, since I was endorsed by the Santa Barbara Tea Party last time. They're out there on the internet, they're on my website, I've written numerous articles, many of you have probably read them in the local papers. And these things, I learned some interesting lessons last time. I signed a couple of them, and in retrospect I wish I hadn't, because what they end up being is tools to be used against you by the Democrats, and they did last time. We need to keep the focus on these politicians and their atrocious policies, and not make ourselves targets on this thing. There's a number of items, I agree almost with all of these things, but there's a couple of items in this pledge that are not executable. And you know, signing a pledge to do something that can't be done is not going to get us anywhere. So I'll be declining to sign this, and I'll take my oath to the Constitution.
And Chris, your comment?
No, I commend you, Tom. That's very admirable. I've read this. It is primarily coming from Gingrich's 21st Century Contract with America. I see nothing in here that I can't support, and I would be happy to sign this pledge, and when I get to Congress, do everything I can to make sure that hopefully all of the... In '94, Clinton signed, I believe, 7 of the 10 Contract with America that Gingrich brought in, made Clinton a great president of all the accomplished. Hopefully we can get 10 out of 10 with this one.
We have 2 more things. On a personal note, I wish we could reverse them because I love singing. I sing very poorly, but I love singing anyway. But we first have the straw poll, and are the ballots going to be? Everyone has a ballot. Has everybody turned in your ballot? Now you know if this was in, I don't know, Los Angeles, you don't have to turn it in because they'll just tell you what the results are. But this is a republic. We're going to ask people to actually vote. So if you turn those in, it's actually a bag. It's coming. Bag. And Heather, if it's okay while you're counting the ballots, we sing Happy Trails? Okay, we can do that. So while you're yes. So Sloan, would you That must be Swoper. She's the one with the guitar. So let's just wait a moment until the ballots are picked up.
Thanks for coming tonight, everybody. If you could all stand, we're going to close in a song that you all know real well. We're going to start way low in your belly. Stay real relaxed. Oh, sweet, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose white stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
We will have the results of this. You can sit down. There's no praying going on at this point. There's no other patriotic songs. And you certainly don't want to hear me sing. This has been a really true effort in democracy tonight. Just to give you some ideas, we've talked about the federal government. Just want to give you some numbers on the state government. For the first 90 days of this fiscal year, the state of California ran a deficit of $17 billion for the first 90 days. Our budget, the complete budget for the state of California, is not the $86 billion of the general fund, but if you include all the expenditures of the state, the total budget of the state of California this fiscal year is approximately $210 billion. That being said, just to let you know, because some of you may be looking forward to a pension or on a pension, this CalPERS is $525 billion of unfunded liabilities. CalSTRS, the teachers' retirement plan, is insolvent. It has $52 billion of unfunded liabilities, and the reason it can pay the retirement checks is the state of California and the General Revenue put in $644 million to CalSTRS just so they can do it. Then you have the state health care plan is $48 billion in deficit. Now, the good news is we can still borrow money. But thanks to the state treasurer, Bill Lockyer, in December of 2009, the state of California had a cap of 6% on interest that government bonds could pay. He changed it. 14% is now the cap. Now, these two good gentlemen said, ouch, in unison. Actually, there have been redevelopment agencies and other government agencies in the state that are already paying 9% interest. So they're going quickly to the 14% cap. So California is in deep trouble. The Central Coast is a great area. I travel the state. You go through the Central Valley, and most of the communities have unemployment of real unemployment